They're looking at this as if NIP have a distinct advantage in the global ultimates and in the composition overall, something that IG need to catch up to. I think that's really telling because I wasn't feeling like IG were behind in the draft until this very moment. Yeah, I think it's awesome that we had Guwon come down here. Even now, showing on Vision seems pretty worthwhile. For as behind in farm as he is, you just keep throwing out these hooks, and one of them is going to land. Last auto by Awesome secures first blood for NIP, and IG want to answer back. In comes the Galio, and Zhuo will go down. But NIP getting first blood on Awesome is exactly what they wanted in Game 2.
Yeah, good look coming out there from Zhuo. Does give his life to the 1-for-1, but is absolutely worth it in my book because Awesome not only gets the first blood.
No!
Oh no, Awesome pushing up a little too far. Rookie does have the flash available.
Yeah, I'm not gonna burn it now. Not gonna burn it ever, it seems. That's a tough way to go. That was the bot lane's presence in top lane means that NIP can and should get the Void Grubs, and maybe even a little more. They're looking for a dive on Sobero, even between the towers. Guwon's about 5 seconds behind the play, but Hoya may just be able to do this all himself as Sobero goes down. No assistance from anyone else needed, and Void Grubs are, of course, on the table.
Plated Steel Cap's not going to save you from that one. Sobero goes down, and NIP take everything on the top side, but you know, alternatively, NIP take everything on the top side, but alternatively, IG take everything on the bottom side. The Dragon will be secured there by Wei. It's a bunch of plates going over to Photic and Zhui on that part of the map as well, and Hoya isn't even able to walk up to the wave. This Renekton is a little bit homeless, to be honest with you, at the current moment, Dia.
And if we ignore Void Grubs, IG, which is big, because NIP opted into this by rotating their bot side up top side, you've basically given away your tempo around these couple of minutes for the Void Grubs. And you got to capitalize on that right now as we've got 2 ganks coming up top side, one by Wei, one by Guwon, who flashes on top of Sobero, but Care makes it a 3rd gank up to the top side, shifts the numbers in the favors of NIP, and collects a kill on Sobero.
Why send 3, or why send 2 when 3 can just as easily do the trick? Care participating in that fight with the rest of his team. They will sacrifice priority in the mid lane. So Renekton, TP, burst item, doesn't have the Dominus, but this just makes him such a big threat once NIP decide to move down to this river.
Whoa! Zhuo flash engaging into a counter wild growth has him at half health and Wei feeling perfectly fine. However, Guwon inserts himself right in the middle of the fight with Hoya now stride breaker in hand, here to back him up. It's going to be a plus 300 to Guwon and a dragon to boot for NIP.
Pyjamas, they get the kill onto Wei, and the second dragon will be theirs. 1-1 in the Drake score. Beautiful mid-game decisions coming out from NIP.
But a Rift Herald is going to be started up top side by NIP, and that is a contest for IG for sure, who don't want to give up Rift Herald and certainly don't want to give up the life of their top laner, both of which NIP appear to desire.
Yep.
Grand Starfall
coming in.
That puts him in a bit of an awkward place. Guwon is right here. Hoya turns back around, was expecting that the whole time. Zhui, all alone, does get a heroic entrance, but will still fall, while Sobero, out of Mega, gets taken down by Hoya. It is 2-for-1 in the favor of NIP, and a flash forward by Care wants to make that a little bit more. Maybe hasn't been too fun laning up against the magic damage resistant rookie, but this time they will get to escort him out of his own topside jungle and turn things around. NIP, they come out the better in that trade and could still look even better as Hoya commits between the towers. No ult, no Dominus, no life for this Renekton. Perhaps NIP have pushed things too far. Guwon was 1 auto away from living there and getting the res. That's so crazy. Yeah. And then this was, well, this was whatever this was.
Yeah,
to be honest with you.
this was the Croc not where he was supposed to be. Is now Hoya. Is he where he's supposed to be here? That is the question.
So he was, but Care got knocked off of his wall, which somehow works out for NIP. Photic pulls a Hoya and steps perhaps a little bit out of line. Something that's a bit awkward considering that Mountain Dragon is available, and now your AD carry is low. Guwon gonna engage in the 2v3, and he is low. Heroic entrance does buy a little bit more space, but Wei finishing the kill is what really does NIP in here. No jungler means no problem on this Dragon Secure. Hoya does jump onto Sobro, who is about to go Mega, and now is impossible to burst down. And IG, they lose nothing. They get a Dragon.
And really sloppy setup there from NIP, if I'm being completely honest with you. Dredgeline goes wide. Guwon ends up being the victim of that, and IG able to capitalize off of that misposition. NIP really just had no business. After Awesome gets chunked, I feel like you aren't really able to escort your Yunara into the fight. And it would have just probably been wiser to give IG their Dragon, which they claim anyway. Second Drake, Sivir has been a character that he has routinely struggled on. As Wei gets his back canceled.
Not a whole lot of vision in this side of the jungle for IG. So unfortunately for Wei, stepping in here and recalling, not fantastic. However, Care in his own jungle does get jumped on by Rookie and actually has to flash away. This Galio still terrifying, but maybe that'll get a lot better, as having a Baron in your pocket does solve a lot of issues. Great wall from Care. Just stalls Photic and Jue getting involved in this. Hoya zones out Sobro, who's about to lose Mega. Rookie is here, but the Baron is gone. Hoya flashes right on top of Photic, who gets the Wild Growth, who gets the Hero's Entrance, and still dies. Rookie, alone with 4 members of NIP, will find one, but still go down. And it is 3 kills for NIP, a double kill for Awesome, and a Baron for the Ninjas in Pyjamas.
The team fighting 5v5 manual after that first match had very little of what made NIP so unique at the start of this winter split, and they read through some chapters for sure. This looks like a team that wants to tie up this series.
A team that very well is positioned to do so. Their lead already greater than that IG had in game number 1 when they themselves picked up the first Baron in the game. If you can expand a 6,000 gold lead right now by just cracking the tier 2s, NIP are going to be in a fantastic position. I will point out as well that Sobro, the terror of last game with his almost 3,000 gold lead, now has that very same gift.
Scare them away from even attempting to look in the general direction of this bot side and contest this Dragon. It will be ripped apart by NIP. And now, the question of what can they do with this Baron buff is on the horizon. Jue forced to flash, but does get himself out.
Accomplished, could still accomplish in the LPL, as they have actually reached up pretty darn far. Catching Jue for a moment.
Got no flash.
And flashless on the Lulu. I wouldn't even be stepping up here as Photic. This is, I will say, a little bit too risky. And NIP, pretty darn confident right now, can do just about anything they want.
Rookie trying to put some pressure in the mid lane and force NIP to respond. He actually will claim this mid turret, so that will be a bit more injection for sure. It feels like NIP as an org definitely have a ceiling on them that a lot of people have placed there just because they haven't really been able to break past that point as an org in placements, but they're looking to do that right now. Weaver's Wall barely avoided by Photic, but a TP is coming in nonetheless.
Photic already having to play incredibly safe. Everything gets burned to keep him alive. And Jue pays for it. I'm sorry, guys. I know it's not funny. I know that it's really, really sad for Lulu to expire on my screen. But, you know, something about it goes. The better odds that IG win this one. And right now, he's a little over halfway done. He's already got the boots completed from...
NIP going toward the Baron might put a wrench in that theory, at least for the time being, Dia.
Yes, that's true. There is, you know, some complicated math at work here. The more dragons and barons, that NIP get. I think that there's some sort of, maybe not subtraction, but division going on here, multiplication by some sort of weird number. I want to say that I wasn't very good at math. I was okay at math.
You know,
it's been a hot second since I was in a math class.
Sivir is proving a little bit arduous to work through for NIP.
Ooh, Awesome steps up though and just deletes Wei's health bar. He's gonna get popped right into the GA and right out of it as well. We talked about the Sivir win condition, but because Yunara is kind of crazy herself, I did forget about how squishy Wei really is in context. Rookie gonna look for an engage right now, but Awesome is very comfortable playing on the edge as well. The fact that Zhuo has absolutely no problem finding engages, being confident on them, is really nice for NIP as well. Wei does get engaged on, but it's Hoya, weirdly enough, who's just under half HP. Sobero chasing him down right now, looking for a fight, is going to flash forward, find a double stun. Rookie's over the wall. He taunts too. Awesome is 200 HP and will be taken down, but a Grim Deliverance takes Guwan right into the back line on top of Photic. He is unfortunately alone as Guwan will be once again popped into the res and finally taken out. Rookie.
I mean, Rookie, Sobero, you said it. They're the guys that managed to find their way onto Awesome. Sobero throws the house literally at Awesome to take down the Yunara.
They're in pit, but honestly, this timing is pretty good. IG do not have the tankiness, do not have the engage that they did moments ago, and Wei actually might be found. Hoya's right on top of him. In comes the Weaver's wall, and over it goes Wei, booped back by the Talia. He's finally taken down, but Awesome is alone in the pit with Sobero, and he's got no flash. He's deleted as well, and NIP, they get the jungler, but they lose their AD carry. Yeah, that was a bit of an awkward fight, because Awesome is just sitting in the Baron pit and then trying to leave the Baron pit and going, I mean, what are we doing here, guys? Right now, Rookie may be asking himself the same question. He's alone with 3 people as the Baron goes down. I suppose at this point, he's pretty well informed. What they're doing is trading his life away for the Baron, and despite that, he is living a weirdly long time.
Okay. I mean, that pulls attention. Yep.
He's almost 100% loaded on the victory screen. And that terrifies me.
Oh, teleport coming in. They're
this
pinching
them.
Hoya,
he could actually find Photic. Look at the AD carry. Photic actually whips out the cleanse. He is untouched and now starting to move forward with the rest of IG as NIP back away. It is Sobero in the backline who slams Zhuo and Awesome against the wall. Rookie commits but will be taken down. It is a battle of AD carries as Photic does not have the space he had before. Hoya flashes on top of him. Zhuo hooks him in and finishes him off, and NIP reclaim control of this game with a masterful team fight.
And you can see Zhuo is the only one left alive. He's going to try and hold the wave, but that is not the only lane that NIP can look to end the game on. They get themselves toward the bot lane. Awesome changes his damage from the mid lane inhibitor to the bot lane one. Zhuo, the only one alive for the next 30 seconds. He still has the Baron buff. If a wave comes in, he might be able to delay it, but I don't feel like the chances and the odds are in IG's favor.
Doing everything he possibly can. It will complete the ace for NIP. And by the looks of it, Quacks, it will complete the game for NIP, as much like in the Knight's Road.
These were some of the best highlights from today's matchup. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.